Welcome to Can Angels Fly. I'm Nancy, and today we're here to talk about you and your ego. hmm Your ego and your fabulous, fabulous self expression. Where does it come from? What is its purpose? Purpose. How can it help you or be detrimental to you and those around you? The ego is defined as your self importance. It is your self esteem, it's your self image. The letters that compose the word ego are very important, just individually. The E, the G, and the O really tells you what the meaning of the term ego is. When I looked up the letter E, I found that the definition is, or E is symbolic for, or symbolize, or is a symbol for, better yet, a symbol for a universal negative. Now the question arises, what is a universal negative? Well, a universal negative is basically never say never. Never think for once that something cannot exist or be. You have no way of knowing. You have no way of proving it. And I bring that up because what creates the ego? Mm-hmm. And whatever it is that creates the ego, we're going to talk about it. You can never say that it does not have an influence on the creation of your ego. This is something that we don't suspect, but we'll come back to that. Just remember, the letter E is symbolic of a universal negative. Never say never. The next letter in the word ego is G. When I looked up G, I found that in psychology, G, capital G, represents your general level of intelligence. Your general level of intelligence is defined as your aptitude, your ability to basically decipher truth. Your intelligence is your understanding. It's how you process the information that you get. Now, the letter O. Something as simple as the letter O has a definition, it has a meaning. And what is that meaning to the letter O? It is your expression. It is your expression. So, right there with those three letters, we have a definition for ego. It is a universal negative, never say never. That your G, your general intelligence, the way you process things, is not influenced, where we're about to go, by something in particular that causes you to express yourself. Your fabulous, fabulous, fabulous self expression. How is it developed? Ego. Now, I kept trying to beat around the bush as I opened up this video when I talk about that never say never. What is that never say never? What is that thing that influences the development of your ego, your intelligence, your expression? Well, it is the various constructs that create our current world. What do I mean by constructs? I mean religion. I mean education. I mean politics. I mean law. I mean media. I mean entertainment. So on and so on. Each one of these areas has a doctrine or creates a doctrine. I'll use entertainment industry, for example. The doctrine associated here in the United States with the entertainment industry, not so much spoken but visual, is a set standard of beauty. You know, the ladies we see in the magazines or the fellows we see in the magazines. All the beautiful thin curves, very soft. All the rippling muscles and the six pack ab. All of that. And these deep penetrating eyes and these saucery lips, that kind of thing. The entertainment industry has created a doctrine for you. They've set these icons up for you to look at. And you marvel and you say, oh, that is the definition of beauty. But then we go look in the mirror and be like, well, I ain't got that soft curve. I got nice, voluptuous, big curves. But I don't have those. Or a fellow looks in the mirror and says, I don't have those rippling muscles. I got a beer belly. Oh, we don't fit into that doctrine. We don't match or look like that icon. Indirectly, well, this is the part that talks about the E being symbolic of a universal negative. Never say never. Never say that something is not influencing you in this case. The entertainment industry and all its beauty and all its glamour is affecting you indirectly. It's not per se being written or said, but you see it. These people are praised, they're worshiped like gods and goddesses. They have all the money, all the glitz and the glamour. Why? Because they're beautiful. Because they look a certain way. So, that is the influence. That is the E. That is the universal negative, the never say never. That you don't acknowledge or you're not aware of the influence or the power or the impact or the impression that these images are having on you. It is not just that. It is not just the entertainment industry. It is religion. It is education. It is politics. It's law. You please name some more of these constructs in our world that creates our world. This insane vortex that we spin in and we don't know what's going on. That's what this video for. We're going to slow down some of this vortex, some of this tornado that's whirling around us, so we so confused days that we can't see. Let's slow it down right here, right now. We're going to ride this wave. We're going to see that there are certain things that influence us and cause us to go into a particular action. Okay? So, we have this fabulous model or this fabulous image. We don't look like that image. Now, on to the G in the word ego, your general intelligence. Your general intelligence is now being governed by that image of that beautiful model, that standard of beauty that you don't look like. And now your general intelligence says that is beauty. If you want to be beautiful, if you want to have wealth, if you want to have popularity, if you want to have fame, then you have to look like that. Well, in order to look like that, now I have to go out into the world and align myself. So my expression into the world is saying, hey, doc, can you give me some booty injections? Can you pull this fat out this arm? That kind of thing. Can you give me a facelift? And can you weave my hair down my back? Because that is a standard of beauty that I want to look like. That even though it sounds so plain, so simple, but that creates your ego. Now, say hypothetically you fit into that standard of beauty, you just been blessed like that, then you really do have a enhanced ego. I fit that standard of beauty. I'm perfect. I'm popular. Everybody likes me because we're all looking at the same standard of beauty, and I fit there naturally. Well, I guess you would have then what they would call more of basically a healthy ego. But what if you don't? What if you do not have that? The influence, that image that doctrine has on you and your self-esteem. Remember, ego is defined as your self-esteem, your self-importance. Now, I'm going to jump and talk about the purpose of the ego. The purpose. That's so important as we continue with this video. Your ego exists, good or bad, for one reason and one reason only. Guess what it is? Yep, y'all right. For your self-survival. So your perseverance. Right. For the perseverance of you. For the preserving of your survival. You know? So whatever you have learned, you move to act in a way that aligns with your beliefs so that you can survive. So that you continue move on. You understand? So you can preserve your being. Not only for you, but those up under your care. So what do I mean by not only you, but those up under your care? If you feel like you have to modify yourself and you have a daughter or a son that looks just like you and you don't look like that image, you modify yourself to look at like that image, guess who else is going to want to modify themselves to look like that image or feel that they're not loved by their parent? Okay. Be very careful. What else do I want to talk about in this video? Another thing that I want to talk about is how you deciphering if you are under the right doctrine or if you're being indoctrinated into the correct doctrine for you. You know this, or you will know this, because that particular doctrine is teaching you the information that you need in order to enhance your natural self, to become a better you, not modify you, but to become a better you. Your doctrine, or those different aspects of life or components that we engage in, those different institutions that we engage in, should be teaching you about yourself, the perseverance of yourself, your beautiful, fabulous self. It should be teaching you about the world, the truth about the world. Remember, your G, your general intelligence, is about you being able to perceive the truth. You must know the truth. And the truth does not ask you to be self-destructive. It does not ask you to hate yourself, because it's about your self-esteem. You understand? So if anything is disruptive to your positive outlook about yourself and about those up under your care, then there's no truth there. So you must be aware or be able to discern the truth. You need to understand that what you are being taught governs your way of thinking. And once your way of thinking is governed by that doctrine, then it leads to every action that you make. It dictates every action that you make. So, back to the original source of the ego, the influence of outside entities. Again, government, money, your culture. Again, I talked about the media, the politics, the law, the medicine, It's so much as a vortex. It's a tornado of information coming. And you have to still yourself, and decipher what information you are getting that is true. And when it's true, when it's truth, it is uplifting you. Again, it's not asking you to modify yourself, to torture yourself. It's about increasing or gaining in clarity. It is about being able to move forward in love and with grace and with harmony and the ability to show your skills and the and to create abundance in your life. Anything less than that is false. It is unrighteous. And it is detrimental because it affects you on a deep emotional level. And I guess that's where I'll go before I close this video down, is talking about the other aspects of your fabulous, fabulous self-expression. Your fabulous self-expression, you know. Your fabulous self-expression lines up again with your belief system, because your belief system dictates how you think. And however you think is however you act. That is you. So in astrology, that talks about your fifth house, which we're talking about your fabulous self-expression and where it comes from. And the purpose is for your self-preservation, you know. And the ninth house is based on your belief system. You know, whatever your belief system tells you to do to preserve yourself or destroy yourself, whatever is bent on doing, that's what you're going to do. Your first house, that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to move forward and partake in. Now, there is some houses in astrology that kind of square off with your fabulous self-expression. And I'm talking about that person that looks at those icons and say, I'm not like them. That goes to modify their body and to mutilate themselves in order to become that epitome of beauty, you know. That person, you know. That person has something going on in their eighth house in astrology. The eighth house is that which is deep, deep, deep down. That's hidden away. It's that sensitive spot. That's that deep emotional seed down in there. You know, if one comes to determine, ooh, I don't fit that standard of beauty set forth by that particular doctrine, the doctrine of the entertainment industry or the fashion industry, whatever the case may be. You move to modify yourself, you know, and something happens. Outwardly, you look gorgeous. As far as, again, that epitome of beauty. You got a butt. As far as that epitome of beauty. But something happens inside, in an internal core. It is a sense of not being worthy. Why? Why is this wound created? Because it is truly not your own personal desire to modify yourself to fit that standard. You know that you are beautiful. You know, why can't the rest of the world see it? You know, why can't I be just fabulous who I am? And why is that? Because of your self-esteem. You didn't take the time to debunk those doctrines. You just fell in line. Rather than allowing yourself or permitting yourself to be your fabulous, fabulous, individualized self and to express yourself. So now, deep inside, eighth house, you know, Scorpio house, the stinking house, you feel some kind of way about yourself, about the world. You don't feel worthy. And you usually don't really feel beautiful, even after the modifications. Another house that is negatively affected by a person that is governed by those doctrines. You know, they're led by them. And they make the decisions based on those doctrines, not on their own personal self-expression, who they know they are, who were created to be. Well, it also affects the second house. And the second house talks about value. You know, value. You lose your own personal value when you give over to some corrupt doctrine that does not put you or shine you in the brightest of light, allowing you to express your personal, fabulous self-expression like I do here on YouTube. Your second house, the house of values, you don't value yourself as much anymore. Why? Because that's not your butt back there. You know, not your cheeks or whatever you had modified. That's not you. You felt like you had to sell yourself out in order to meet, again, that standard of beauty that is really not beauty. It is a doctrine superimposed upon you to move you to think a certain way and ultimately to perform certain actions. Those actions are usually not in your favor, not at all. So I say to my viewers, I need you to understand and to recognize whoever you have been born as, this is your gift. And you have the right to express your ego, your fabulous, fabulous self expression based on the truth that you know, based on that information that uplifts you, based on those experiences that uplift you and those around you and those up under your care. When you're able to express you and your fabulous heart desires, you also have basically submitted to or created a belief system that loves you. You understand? And when it loves you, it allows you to be you. It allows you to become the better you, the best you, your first house. And you move forward in that. And you make all your decisions and determinations based on that. Remember, your ego's primary purpose is for your self-preservation. So you make all good decisions based on the maintenance of you and the sustaining of you and those up under your care and those around you. However, if you give over to some other doctrine that someone else has created, a belief system for you to digest and to live out, you sold yourself out. You've lost love for self. You've lost your own personal value. You don't view yourself as priceless. And you go out and you move forward under that doctrine, doing whatever it says to do, things that are destructive to you. This is what dictates your ego. And I made this video because the ego is such an important feature to a human. It is so important that you need to know exactly what it is. You need to know how it can help you or debilitate you and those around you and those up under your care. And you need to know its purpose. And its purpose is for your perseverance, for the preserving of you or for the destruction of you. Thank you for coming to Can Angels Fly. Till next time. Bye.